Hello, my name is Ángela Llana Molina Martinez. I belong to Group 104, and my tutor is Joana Pacheco Martinez. On this video, I'm going to talk about what I learned from watching the recordings of the 3 STTs that I couldn't attend. On the first one, taught by the tutor Cheleisa Machado, on December 9th, we learned about how to describe places using adjectives. There are several adjectives and they can be used to describe size, the atmosphere of a place, the weather, the appearance, qualities of the food, for example, and the list goes on and on. But the main thing that we learned during this STT was that adjectives can be used as comparatives and superlatives. Comparative adjectives help compare one thing to another. When it is a short adjective like big, we just add er to the end of this word. So big would become bigger, or short becomes shorter. An example would be Pablo is taller than John. For longer adjectives, we say more plus the adjective, or less and the adjective. For example, your rent is more expensive than mine. And irregular adjectives have their own comparative form. For example, good doesn't become gooder, it becomes better, or bad becomes worse. On the other hand, superlatives are used to indicate that something has the highest or lowest degree of said quality. This would be compared to 3 or more things or places, or in general. And just like with comparative, it depends on the length of the adjective. For short adjectives, we say the plus adjective and then in est. For example, that store is the closest to my job. For long adjectives, we say the most or the least plus the adjective. So for example, that girl is the most beautiful of her class. And again, irregular adjectives have their own superlative form. In this case, good become best and bad would become worst. STT number 2 was taught by the teacher Hubert Palacios on December 11th, but I think there was a mistake about the recording that was shared. So I did my own research and I'm going to explain what I learned from modules 4, 5, and 6 of the ebook and some of the suggested grades on the syllabus. So past perfect is used to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past. So it shows a sequence of past events. For example, I had finished doing the laundry before breakfast. So breakfast is in the past, but I'm talking about something that I did even before that. To form a sentence in past perfect, we say the subject plus had plus past participle of the action. Present perfect is used to talk about actions that started in the past but are still happening. For example, she has lived here for a decade. In this case, we form the sentence with subject plus has or have plus past participle of the action. STT number 3 was also taught by teacher Hubert Palacios on December 20th. In this STT, the teacher guided us and explained every step that we needed to follow to complete task 4. And he also helped us practice our pronunciation and oral expression with some icebreaker questions, like which is the best beach, mountain, or countryside place that you visited, and what did you do in there? What's your favorite activity to do when you travel, etc. And that's it for the 3 STTs. I really liked watching those recordings, and I think it is really helpful, especially because in order to learn English, it is really useful to have a space where you can practice your pronunciation and your listening, and the topics practiced and explained in this were really, really helpful for this task. So that's it for this video. Thanks for your attention and have a great day. Bye-bye.